All right, now let's look at binding the features checkboxes. So here is the feature section, and this is our checkbox. Now here we cannot use ng model like this. So ng model to vehicle dot features, because here we're dealing with dynamic checkboxes. So we don't have a separate property for each feature in our vehicle object. In other words, we don't have properties like feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. So we cannot use the ng model directive like this here. We have a property called features, which is an array of numbers. So here, we need to take a different approach. We need to handle the change event. And let's bind this to a method called onFeatureToggle. Now here I want to send two arguments. One is the feature ID, so f.id, and the other is the event object. And with this, I can tell if this checkbox is checked or not. Now back in our component, I'm going to implement this method, onFeatureToggle. Takes a feature ID and an event object. Now, if this checkbox is checked, I want to push this feature ID into the features array. So if event.target.checked this.vehicle.features.push feature ID. Now, because we're calling the push method on this array, we need to ensure that this property is initialized. So on top of the component, here's our vehicle object. Currently, we don't have the features property, so features should be an empty array. Now, the other logic. Else, in order to remove an object from an array, first we need to find its index. So this.vehicle.features.index of feature ID. We store this index here, and then use the splice method to remove it. So this.vehicle.features.splice. We go to this index and remove one object. Let's test it. So initially, our features property is an empty array. Now, I select a couple of features. Look, we have 1 and 2. And I'm going to remove 2 and add 3. 1 and 3, perfect. And finally, let's remove both of them. Excellent. So the feature section is working. And finally, in the next lecture, we're going to bind the other input fields.